cautioned the country that there is virus still around us and we need to restrict it. And is this address, since the COVID-19 pandemic has started, it was the 7th address by the Prime Minister to the citizens of India. And he makes it very clear that if there is any little careless, then it can spell grief for the people. That means if you are not following the rules and regulations, or if you are complacent, or if you are careless, then certainly the virus might spread once again very fast, and this would create lot of problem to everyone. And the Prime Minister has also appealed to the citizens that they need to go ahead with following the guidelines, that is wearing the mask, sanitizing their hands and maintaining social distance, so that by the month of February 2021, which was the report by Department of Science and Technology, which states that the virus might be minimum by 2021, would be a successful one, which the WHO and also ICMR and now the Prime Minister of India also makes it very clear that we need to be cautious at this situation wherein the virus, or else the cases of the virus which has peaked in the month of mid of September and now in the month of October, this was in the month of September it was high, now October it is reducing, and only when we are cautious we can be happy. Only when we are cautious we can be happy. That is the code of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address to the nation in regards to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is still prevailing around us. And he has also appealed to the media and social media to create public awareness. That is the responsibility of the media and the social media to make sure that people are aware of the importance of being careful rather than being careless. And he also makes it a point that until the vaccine is found, we should never allow to fight against corona weekend. Rather than being careless, rather than being complacent, Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi has addressed to the nation and he has appealed to the citizens that we have to strengthen ourselves in regards to fighting against SARS-CoV-2 virus or COVID-19 disease, and then we shall be happy in the first quarter of 2021. And he says that this is not the time to be careless or believe that corona is gone. It is not gone, it is still around us, and if we are careless it will again spike, it will surge. And if we are careless and moving around without mask, then we are not only trying to put ourselves, that is the individuals, under risk, but even our children will be at risk, the elderly people at home, or else in the community, in the society, in the country also will be at risk. So not only taking care about yourself, but while you take care about yourself as an individual, you are taking care of your children's or the elderly persons or people around you. So that is very important message which has been addressed by the Prime Minister of India to the citizens, that virus is still around us and we need to be cautious. And before I get into the next slide, Chandu has joined. Chandu, Kondal, Srinu, D. Suvarna, Mahi Reddy, Gauru Naidu, all of you a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And there is another news which talks about being cautious about reinfection. Here the keyword is reinfection, not as our Prime Minister was talking about we should be careful rather than being careless, because the virus might be more of infected cases might take place. But here the ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, has made it very clear, or it has called for sustained caution against the COVID-19 disease, and it makes it very clear that there should not be any kind of negligence, because If you are careless, infection might take place. But if you are negligent, then there is a possibility of reinfection of virus, not infection. Please do understand, it is reinfection. That means the person who has been infected earlier, there is a possibility if we are negligent, I mean the one who has been affected or infected, if the person, individual is negligence, then there is a possibility of reinfection of SARS-CoV-2 happening, is the message which is being passed by the ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, has brought to the notice by cautioning of reinfection. So reinfection is the key word. And this reinfection in India, as per ICMR, is currently under investigation, and ICMR is certainly collecting the data of the one who have been infected and recovered. Positivity rate, infected, that is mortality, morbidity, recovery, or again positivity rate. So all this I will discuss, but that is infection and death cases, morbidity and mortality. The ICMR is focusing on the reinfection in India. This is very important. Reinfection in India. ICMR is working on the it is getting into the investigation mode and collecting data in regards to the reinfection of SARS-CoV-2 in India. And as per the ICMR, the knowledge what they have actually passed on, that the COVID-19 infection, that is because of the SARS-CoV-2 and the antibodies which are in the individual or else the human being, they both stay in the body, both infection and the antibodies, they both stay in the body of an individual between 3 to 5 months. So this is the investigation what the ICMR is conducting, that how long the virus will stay, how long the antibodies which have developed to fight against the antigens, that is the virus, would stay in the human body, so that infections and the antibodies would stay as per the investigation of the ICMR, as per the knowledge of the ICMR, it would stay in the body of a human being up to 3 to 5 months. That is why if we are or any infected person who has recovered, if he or she is negligent, not taking proper measures after recovery, it might lead to reinfection. It might lead to reinfection, and that will be the next cause of concern. That this rate of the cases might again increase. Not the new cases, but the reinfection. Not the infection, but reinfection. And ICMR Director General Balram Bhargava has said that when an individual gets infected by the SARS-CoV-2, there is a possibility that he might get infected even after 90 days, and that is called as reinfection. So when does a person get infected, or when does a person is called as reinfected person by SARS-CoV-2? That is when a person is infected again after 90 days. Once he has recovered and again he has infected by the SARS-CoV-2 virus after 90 days, then it is called as the person is reinfected. So here the keyword is reinfection. Please do take it into consideration. The critical keywords which I am focusing here would be very, very crucial for your analytical point of view and a conceptual understanding for preliminary UPSC perspective. And the government is definitely looking into the report, and that report is of the Solidarity Trial Interim Report. Solidarity Trial Interim Report, and the government is looking at this report, and it is making it very clear that as few of the vaccines were administered to the infected person, that is remdesivir, hydroxychloroquine, and then lopinavir or ritonavir, and along with that interferon. So all these were administered to the infected person, but the report of solidarity trial interim report is stating on these vaccines or the drugs which have been administered to the one who have been infected by SARS-CoV-2 has little or no effect on 28-day mortality, that is death cases in the hospital. Please do understand. So by usage of remdesivir, hydroxychloroquine, lopinavir and ritonavir along with interferon, which have been administered to the infected cases, does not really have any or little effect on the death cases. That is what the report talks about. So you need to make it very clear. The crucial information is the report wherein the government is keenly following the report, that is Solidarity Trial Interim Report. And it also makes it very clear, the ICMR, the benefit of blood plasma therapy is also under review. So they are investigating the reinfection cases and then collecting the data, how it might in India, the reinfection cases could be the surging or it would be reduced. And now the country has a confirmed cases in 24 hours, which has fallen to 50,000. So certainly this is a good news for India, that the confirmed cases, which was almost close to 95 to 98,000, has fallen down to 50,000, and this is for the first time in the last 3 months the decline of the confirmed infected cases in India has fallen down. It's a very good news. And the same way, if you look at in the month of July end last week, it was 47,000. So we are close to what was the infected cases in the month of July, now comparing it with the October 3rd week. So definitely the spike has gone up and then it is declining. That is a good news. And then the high number of patients recovering. Look at it. This confirmed cases is the one which is a keyword. Recovery of the patients is also very high, and there is a fall, that is decline in mortality. Mortality in the sense it is death rates. Definitely the active cases are falling down, that is it is decreasing, and the positive cases are also very less, and the total number of cases or the percentage of the entire is only 9.85 or 10%. So these are the findings by the ICMR in regards to the reinfection. And what is that you need to focus here? The keywords are reinfection, the collecting COVID-19 reinfection in India, and the Solidarity Trial Interim Report, confirmed cases, blood plasma, patients recovering, that is recovery rate, active cases, positive cases. These are all the keywords which you need to keep it in mind for the UPSC prelims perspective. Okay, before I get into the next slide, I would say very good morning to Sai Pawan, Khaja Fakhruddin, and then Shalini, Azmat, Prashant. A warm welcome to you all to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And Prashant has written that okay, definitely Prashant is worried about the food inflation. I mean the inflation of vegetables, that is the prices are shooting up. Definitely That is why we have seen in the recent news in the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis, wherein the RBI has not changed the repo rate and reverse repo rate. Has not changed, not because they know that the inflation is high, the prices are also high, and definitely now because of the rainfalls what we have experienced in Telangana, AP or South India, there is a possibility that the vegetables or fruits or even in regards to the pulses, that is essential commodities, will certainly the prices will rise. And we have to be ready for the rise in prices. Definitely our Prime Minister and then the Finance Minister is also aware of it. Mai said, sir, but some people are reinfecting before 90 days. Yes, what we call, yes, that is what the ICMR is talking about, and then even Prime Minister has addressed to the nation that we need not be careless, we need not be complacent, but we should be very vigilant. We should not be negligent. We should not have any kind of negligence, but we should strengthen our protective measures. That means there is always a possibility that when the treatment is being taken up, probably the treatment is not totally completed or they have not followed the total treatment, and that is why within 90 days the infected cases are happening. And there is a possibility, and that is also happening. Shalini is from Bangalore. A warm welcome to you, Shalini, to AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis by me, that is Sandeep Bhushan Tumala. Rajat, I have made the point, Rajat, in initial itself, that when you are talking about the current affairs, it's always good to all the civil servant aspirants to follow the current affairs at least from 12 to 18 months before you take the exam. It is always good to take to follow the current affairs prior to 12 to 18 months, because you need to know the background. You need to know the background of it, and that is very, very important. Background of the particular topic is very crucial for your conceptual and application point of understanding for prelims, and also for the mains answer writing. Background is very important. So I request, and my suggestion is 12 to 18 months of solid preparation for current affairs is required. Rajat, I think you got the point. Sai Kumar, very good morning. Okay, Gauri Naidu is from Andhra Pradesh. Kondal is from Nalgonda. No doubt about it. We are all Indians, and certainly you will all be benefited by AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. I would certainly bet on it. I have a lot of confidence that AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis will certainly be benefited to you. And Satish also, a warm welcome to you, Satish. Very good morning to you. And now we'll look at the another news, which the Punjab state has formally rejected farm laws. So why we need to look at it? Because recently the government or the union government has passed agriculture reforms laws, or agriculture reforms have taken place, and the bills were passed. Agricultural or farmers bills were passed in the house, both the houses, and then since then we have experienced that the farmers in northern India especially are not happy with the agricultural reforms, or the three reforms, the bills which were passed in both the houses, and there is lot of hue and cry by the opposition and the farmers association or the groups against the farm bills or farm laws, because the farmers are worried about MSP and they are worried about procurement. So Punjab has now become the first state to reject. Do understand here, Punjab is now the first state to reject the centers, that is the central government, which has taken the recent agricultural sector laws. So the laws which have been passed in regards to the agricultural sector was rejected by the Punjab Assembly unanimously, and Punjab Assembly has instead passed three bills to negate in the sense they are rejecting the union or the central agricultural sector laws. Please do understand here, the Punjab Assembly has rejected the center's three agricultural sector laws, and they have unanimously passed another three bills to negate, that is to nullify or to repeal the union legislations. And the Assembly has rejected the central legislation along with the three farm bills. They have also rejected the proposed bill by the center. It is in regards to the electricity amendment bill. So apart from the farm bill or the farm laws, the Punjab Assembly has also rejected electricity amendment bill, and in turn the Punjab Assembly has sought an ordinance to the state to come up with an ordinance which it will protect the minimum support price and ensure the continuance of procurement. Procurement means purchase of the farm produce, that is the farmers what they produce in the fields, that has to be purchased by the center whenever there is floods or whenever there is drought or natural disaster. When it happens or occurs, then the government of India or the central government should come forward and procure, that is both the central and the state together should purchase the farm produce. So the Punjab Assembly is asking the center to come up with the ordinance to protect the minimum support price and also to ensure the continuance of procurement, because these are the two which the farmers feel that the minimum support price would be taken off. That is the notion of the farmers, that the MSP will be slowly or gradually removed, and then the procurement, that is purchase of the farm produce of the farmers, will not be happened in the due course of time by the government, but probably there would be some private who would get into the mode of purchasing the procurement. So thereby there would be a loss to the farmers. That is a notion, and thereby this Punjab State Assembly has come up with three state bills. Punjab has come up with the three state bills to provide, if there is any kind of sale or purchase of wheat or paddy under the farmer agreement below the MSP, whenever there is sale or purchase of wheat or paddy under the agreement, farmers agreement below the MSP. So when they are purchasing or selling below the minimum support price, then that person who is purchasing or who is selling it will be imprisoned for 3 years, and there would be fine for sale or purchase. So this is the state bill wherein Punjab has come up with. And the state bill also are preventing any kind of hoarding. Hoarding means what? Collecting. You collect the farm produce and then you go ahead with getting involved in the black marketing of agricultural produce. So hoarding, black marketing, and then sale and purchase of wheat and paddy under the minimum support price. As per the Punjab state bills which have been passed, they would be imprisoned for 3 years and they would be fined. So what is crucial here is the center, as that is the center's farm bills have been rejected by the Punjab Assembly and they have come up with the 3 state bills. This is crucial information which you need to understand the plight of the farmers because of the agricultural reform bills which have been passed in the house. Okay, Mahi Reddy and then Sandhya has joined. Sandhya, Ramkumar, Nageshwarao, a warm welcome to you, all of you, to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And Mahi Reddy says, sir, but ICMR told that we call reinfection if they are affected again only after 90 days. Yes. Will we call it reinfection even if a person affected before 90 days? Yes. That is what I said. The ICMR is going ahead with steady in regards to reinfection in India. Currently, it is under investigation. So probably they will look at the investigation and they will also collect the data as per the investigation. And when we look at the data, if they are trying to decipher or understand that if the infected cases is below or before 90 days, then the data what they are collecting, they might again change it to further below 90 days. Mahi, I think you got the point. Mahi Reddy. It is investigation. It is under investigation and they are collecting data so that they will again look at the data. What is the amount of time or else the number of times the reinfection is taking place after collecting the data? They might again go ahead with calling for the definition of reinfection if it is occurring after 90 days or below 90 days. And there are clause which the Punjab Assembly has come up with. Punjab Amendment Bill. So we will look at the amendments being done to the Punjab by the Punjab Assembly. So the one which the provisions have taken place in regards to the MSP, the Punjab Assembly, they are punished. They wanted to go ahead with the punishment, that is in regards to the imprisonment up to 3 years, and that is in regards to the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services, special provisions of Punjab Amendment Bill. So it is in regards to the price assurance and farm services. If they are buying or selling below MSP, then they would be punished or imprisoned up to 3 years. And this Punjab Amendment Bill, it wants to amend Section 1 of 2 and Section 19 and Section 20 of Centre's Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services 2020. Do not get confused. Just instead of the centers, now they are coming up with the Punjab Amendment Bill because they have negated the centers farm bills and they have come up with the own, that is Punjab Amendment Bill. And the second one is the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce. Here what is important is trade and commerce, promotion facilities, special provision, Punjab Amendment. So now the Punjab has come up with a new bill and it is seeking to amend Section 1 of 2, Section 14, Section 15 of what? Of Farmers Centers, Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce, Promotion and Facilities Act 2020. Why? Because they wanted to ensure sale or purchase of wheat and paddy should not be allowed below MSP. So just what the center has passed the bills in the both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, that now the Punjab have come up with the Punjab Amendment Bill 2020, and again if you look at Punjab Amendment Bill 2020, it is in regards to the price assurance and farm services and trade and commerce, second one. And the third one is the essential commodities special provisions Punjab Amendment Bill 2020. It is seeking to amend the centers, the Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020 by amending Section 1 of 2, Section 13A of Essential Commodities Act. So what is crucial here, what you need to focus, analytical point of view is, I will explain here how you need to look at this. So what is that Punjab Assembly or Punjab government is wanting amendments, is seeking to amend, it is in regards to the price assurance and farm and services. They wanted to amend section 1 of 2, section 19 and 20. So section 1 of 2, section 19 and section 20 pertains to the price assurance. This is what you need to focus. And then again this section 1 of 2, section 14 and section 15. This is in regards to the trade and commerce, the second bill. The farmers produce trade, second one. Farmers produce trade and commerce promotion facilities. And the first one is farmers empowerment and protection agreement on price assurance and farm services. Please do understand which are the sections which the Punjab Assembly wanted the centre to amend in 1, 2, 3 bills which have been passed by the centre in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In regards to the price assurance and farm services, it is section 1 of 2, section 19 and 20. In regards to the trade and commerce of the farmers produce, it is section 1 of 2, section 14 and 15. And again in regards to the essential commodities amendment, they wanted to amend section 1 of 2 and section 3 of 1A. Section 3 of 1A. So this is the important sections what the Punjab Assembly is wanting the centre to amend. If you can understand these three, it is clear for you. It will be very clear. And this is what analysis is. You as a civil servant, you need to focus it, because if you look at this entire 2 slides, you may or you may not understand it, but I have made it simple for you that this is what these sections, section 1 of 2, section 1 of 2, section 1 of 2 pertains to all the 3 agricultural farm bills which have been passed by the centre both by Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. But section 19 and 20, it belongs to price assurance and farm services, first bill. And section 14 and 15 in regards to the trade and commerce. Section 3 of 1 is in regards to the essential commodities. So this you please, these sections you write it separately so that you will have a clear understanding about why the Punjab Assembly has negated or passed unanimously and negated the centers and wanted which sections to be amended in which of the farm bills. That is crucial. This is analysis, and this is what happens at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And the 4th bill is in regards to the Code of Civil Procedures, Punjab Amendment Bill 2020, which has passed, and it seeks to insert a provision for exemption of agricultural land, which is land not exceeding 2.5 acres, and from section 60 of the Code of Civil Procedures 1908. So this is a crucial or critical information for you from prelims as well as mains examination. We have looked at the 3 farm bills, and the 4th one is in regards to the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. These are all 2020. 3 farm bills, and the 4th one is the Code of Civil Procedures, and that is in regards to provision for exemption of agricultural land not exceeding. So whenever the agricultural land is below 2.5 acres, they should be exempted from the any kind of movable or immovable properties. I hope this is the analysis you have understood. And Ram Kumar has joined, Naresh, Nageshwarao. A warm welcome to 3 of you. And now we will focus at the another news which talks about FDI blooms in COVID-19 gloom. So there are 2 words here, bloom and gloom. Bloom is prosperous, gloom is like it is not prosperous, negating. And what is that is blooming now, even during the COVID-19 situation, is the FDI inflows. This is a keyword. The foreign direct investment inflows into India for the first time first time since COVID-19, that is 5 months of 2021. It has had a record high despite of, that is in spite of 60% of contraction, that is minus 60%, which the FDIs has experienced in the last 5 months because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. In the first quarter with July and August, there was little better in regards to the 20 billion for equity FDI. So here the two keywords are, FDI is the keyword which you need to focus, that is foreign direct investment, and another keyword is the equity FDI. In regards to the economy point of view, you need to focus two keywords here, that is in regards to the foreign direct investment and equity foreign direct investments. If you look at the FDIs which has had a record high, definitely the record high is, or it has increased to 11.51 billion US dollars between April and June, and by the end of August it has from 11.51 billions it has shooted up to 35.73 billion. That clearly shows that the FDI inflows into India is increasing. And if you look at the equity FDI in India in the year 2019-20, it is 50 billion US dollars. Please do understand the two keywords which I have emphasized, that is FDI, that is foreign direct investments in India, and you have another one called as equity investments. These two keywords are crucial for economy point of view, and we will look at what is equity. What is equity? For a better understanding, I have taken up this, and the equity represents the amount of money that would be returned back to the shareholder, that is an individual who has purchased the share of particular company, he will be called, or he will be as a shareholder of the particular company, and this is the equity, means the amount of money which is been returned, to the shareholders when all the assets of the company, when all the assets of the company were liquidated in the sense it is in the form of money, and all the company's debt is paid off. That means all the expenditure is being paid off, that is any kind of loans is paid off, and then later on after paying the debts, that is loans or any kind of expenditure, and then whatever the money is left out with the company, and that money will be distributed to the company shareholders, that is called as equity FDI. So if you look at, there is a progress in regards to the FDI and also in regards to the equity FDI. So we have looked at what is equity for the better understanding, that is UPSC prelims perspective. It is not just we have just focused on the numbers, but we are also looking into the understanding concepts of equity FDI, that is the amount which is returned by the company to the shareholders once the company's debts are paid off, and the remaining money is again distributed to all the shareholders. The assets are distributed to all the shareholders. Okay, Sri Kumar says that, sir, the farmers' right linked to Punjab Amendment Bill. Yes, that is in regards to the Punjab state. So Punjab state has taken, that is Punjab Assembly has unanimously rejected the center's farm agricultural reform bills. I hope Sri Kumar has understood. Revati has joined. A warm welcome to you, Revati. And there is an increase in FDI, and this increase in FDI is because of the FDI policy reforms, because of investment facilitation by the center, and because of ease of doing business. Why the FDIs have increased in India because of these three reasons. Because of FDI policy reforms, because of investment facilitation provided by the central government and the states, and also by ease of doing business. And the total FDI flows include fresh equity investments and also reinvested earnings both. And FDI equity, when now we are talking about FDI equity flows, were boosted. And why it was boosted? Because there were investments into geo platforms. There were investments by the foreign investors into Reliance Industries. There were foreign investors who have invested into telecom subsidiary. Who has invested? Global investors, that is foreign investors like Google. They have invested 4.5 billion in the venturing into geo platform, Reliance Industries and telecom subsidiaries. Google, as like Google and various other foreign investors have invested into these sectors or geo, that is in regards to the telecom, Reliance Industries and telecom subsidiary also. That is why the FDI equity inflows has increased. Please do understand here, conceptual understanding. FDI equity has increased because of the global investors like Google have invested in geo platforms, Reliance Industries and telecom industries, and the investment committed under. So there are foreign investors or the global investors who invest and their investments are committed under, this is a keyword, under production linked incentives. So there would be incentives, there would be equity given to the FDI or to the company or to the shareholders, wherein it would be based on the production linked incentives. So production which will be taken up because of the incentives, and incentives would be given based on the production scheme. So PLI scheme is very important to FDI equity flows, especially for the electronic manufacturing such as Apple Incorporation supplies. Now they will begin to flow once the approvals comes in. That is in regards to the approval for what? Approval for PLI scheme. What is PLI scheme? That is production linked incentives. And then Apple will also start going ahead with investing in India through the FDI equity. FDI equity. Yes, what is PLI? Okay. Revati has asked what is PLI. PLI is production linked incentive. That means the incentives will be given based on the production. That means the amount, the high the production, high the incentives, low the production, lower will be the incentive. So that is the scheme. That is the scheme, and this is now taken up because they wanted, the government of India wanted FDI equities to flow higher into India, especially in the electronics manufacturing. That is why, and the other point is it wanted to attract or invite the global investors like Google and Apple to invest in India, and that investment will be in the electronics manufacturing, and that would be based on the PLI scheme, that is production linked incentives. So you will be given extra money only when there is more high of production. When the production reduces, then the incentives will not be given. So that is the link, and that is why it says it is a linked. Incentives are linked to the production. I hope Revati has understood it. So this is where you need to always identify. When I am saying this is a keyword. This is certainly a keyword, and UPSC will focus on these keywords, wherein many of the civil servant aspirants might miss the keywords while they are studying. And there is another news which is again in regards to the environment. So we will focus this news for UPSC prelims as well as mains perspective. from environment point of view. So this is in regards to the Kaleshwaram project, which the NGT, that is National Green Tribunal, NGT National Green Tribunal has put the blame onto the environmental clearance given to the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project, that is KLIP, wherein the environmental clearance was given to the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project, which was granted ex post facto. What do you mean by ex post facto? So this is a keyword here for a conceptual and better understanding. So ex post facto means after it is done. What it is done? The project. Which project? Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. After completion of substantial work, that is good amount of work in regards to the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project has been completed, and then the environmental clearance was given by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And what the NGT says is the National Green Tribunal bench has made it very clear that the granting of the ex post facto to the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is in violation of law. This is another keyword. It is in violation. Why it is in violation? Because of the grant of the environmental clearance by the ministry is ex post facto. This is the keyword here. Ex post facto, because of the granting of the clearance, environment clearance, which is ex post facto, and this is in violation of law. Who is saying this? It is in violation of law. That is the NGT. The NGT bench have said it. Why the bench have said it? Because there was a petition filed in the National Green Tribunal against the environmental clearance given to Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and while taking up this case, the NGT has held responsible that the environmental clearance is in violation of law, and the NGT bench also has observed that there is an accountability needs to be fixed. Definitely now what has happened is happened, because now the NGT bench also say that we cannot stop the work, or else the work has started. Now what is important is we need to get into the mode of observing the accountability, which is the need of the hour to be fixed, and what are the remedial measures. So one thing what the NGT is observing now is accountability has to be taken into consideration, and what remedial measures can be taken if there is any kind of loss to the people or to the area or to the environment itself because of the ex post facto granted to the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. And the NGT has also directed the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to constitute a 7-member expert committee, that it should be constituted within a month, and it should complete the entire exercise that in 6 months. That is in regards to the expert appraisal committee has to be set up, which will be relevant to sectorial expertise will be into that, and they have to submit the report within 6 months. So NGT now has said that the ex post facto granted is in violation of the law. There should be accountability fixed, there should be remedial measures, and there has to be a 7-member committee which has to be set up. So these three, what I am saying in regards to the 1, 2, 3, 4 are very crucial for your analysis point of view, what NGT, National Green Tribunal, has spoken about the granting of ex post facto. Oh, G. Srinu says that Telangana News, sir, this project depth information. Okay. And the petition which was filed, and why did the NGT come up with this observation of what we have discussed, that is the 4, that is it is in violation of law, and it wanted accountability, remedial measures, and setting up of 7-member committee, because a petition was filed in NGT, National Green Tribunal, by a person called as Mohammad Hayat Uddin, who is a resident of Siddipet district of Telangana state, that he has filed a petition saying that he is also a farmer and the farmers are being directly affected because of the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. That is what the concern of the petitioner, which was filed in the NGT, and he is a resident of Siddipet district of Telangana state. And the petitioner has filed in the NGT, wherein he wanted to declare the environmental clearance which has been granted to Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project is invalid. The petitioner says that the environmental clearance which is being given, NGT should pronounce the judgment that the clearance is invalid because it has got the permission prior to filling application with the Ministry for Clearance. Look at it. The clearance has got before there was the application, filing up application with the Ministry for the Clearance. Which ministry? Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Before they have filed the application, they have got the clearance. That is why the petitioner says it is asking the NGT to make sure that the clearance is invalid. But the NGT bench says that even though there is illegality which has been observed, which has been granted the environmental clearance, what the NGT bench says now is that it is neither possible, please do understand, it says, NGT says that it is neither possible nor desirable to undo. That means now the entire lift irrigation project, they cannot undo it. That means they cannot reverse it, what has happened. But definitely NGT bench says that is National Green Tribunal bench says that accountability needs to be fixed and remedial measures have to be taken, and that is why it wants to constitute an expert panel and within 1 month and complete it by 6 months. And the NGT bench also has suggested that expert committee would assess the extent of damage to the farmers because of the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project, which has been taken up without environmental clearance between 2008 to 2017. Look at it. That means as per the petitioner and the NGT bench suggests that the work which has been taken up by the state government in regards to the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project between 2008 and 2017, if there is any kind of damage being done to the farmers, they have to go ahead with remedial measures, and this is the necessary restoration measures, remedial measures which the NGT is suggesting. And further, the NGT wants to look into relief and rehabilitation measures. This is a keyword again. Restoration measures and relief and rehabilitation measures should be adopted, and they wanted to examine effective implementation of environment management plan. Once the committee comes up, expert committee, they wanted to implement the environmental management plan, which will be submitted by the committee, and that should be in regards to the compliance of the environment clearance. And this is particularly required. That is environmental clearance is required for projects which are multi-purpose, and definitely it requires environmental clearance because it is definitely under the environmental impact assessment notification, and this is the keyword. Environmental impact assessment is a keyword which could be part of your mains 2020 UPSC exam, because there could be a possibility a question being asked on the environmental impact assessment draft or notification taken up by the central government, and how the various projects have been taken up by the states and the central governments not trying to adhere to the environmental impact assessment notification, and then there would be cause damage to the people, farmers, and also to the ecology and environment. And the crucial keyword here is environmental impact assessment notification, and I am reiterating it for the mains 2020 UPSC exam. Okay, Tejasri has joined. Revati says that from my end it is very clear. I mean, no problem from my end. Is it now okay? Because I am also checking it in my mobile also. The slide is clear, visible from my end. Please check it from your end if there is any net issues. And now we will focus the recapitulation of the DNA what we have discussed. We have looked at the Prime Minister cautioning the nation, saying that we should not be careless, we should be cautious itself. And ICMR also has spoken about reinfection. This is again in regards to the science. Punjab, this is in regards to the agricultural reforms laws. We have focused at length, and this is again FDI blooms in COVID-19 gloom. This is pertaining to economy. This is agriculture, again part of economy. Here we were focusing on the FDI and equity FDI, and this is the environmental clearance which we are focused in regards to the environment or ecology and environment, how it is important in regards to the environment or impact assessment notification. So I hope this session was informative, knowledgeable, and also useful for mains 2020 as well as prelims 2021. So I would say a very big thank you and a good luck to you all. And please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe the video. Do visit AKS IAS Academy website, on also subscribe the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is Advanced Knowledge System. And then see you again tomorrow at 7:30 AM in regards to the DNA, that is daily news analysis. And I would reiterate my statement, that is, do maintain consistency, do stick to your schedule, and then do take care of your physical health and mental health. I would say thank you very much to everyone, and then see you tomorrow at 7:30 AM.